Hi, I'm Kara, life coach, wife, and mom to 4 incredible and unique children. It wasn't all that long ago that my son received a diagnosis that had my world come crashing down. I lacked the ability to see past the circumstances, which felt impossible, and the dreams I once had for my life and family felt destroyed. Fast forward past many years of surviving and not at all thriving, and you'll see a mom who trusts that she can handle anything that comes her way and has access to the power and confidence that once felt so lacking. I created the Special Needs Mom podcast to create connection and community with moms who find themselves feeling trapped and with no one who really understands. My intention is to spark the flare of possibility in your own life and rekindle your ability to dream. This isn't a podcast about your special needs child. This is a podcast about you. If you are a mom who feels anxious, alone, or stuck, then you are in the right place. Welcome. Hello, and welcome to the Special Needs Mom podcast. Guess what today is? It's my birthday. Well, actually, today is not my birthday. When I'm recording this, it's not my birthday, but the day it's coming out is my birthday. So I thought, I kind of have to mention it. It's going to be my 45th birthday. It's a nice number. I think it's going to be a good year. Although I actually was pretty optimistic about 44 since 4 is my favorite number. I felt like this has to be good. And quite honestly, it was a good year. Although I think back to my birthday last year, and it was the day that my husband had a skin cancer surgery and had a major chunk of his face taken off. And so therefore just was not in a great headspace. And we had a visit from a social worker that went pretty horribly. I think I do share that story at some point in the past year. And it had super high stakes and it could not have gone more poorly. It was cloudy and cold, like we have June gloom here in Southern California, and it was just not a great day. So I feel like, you know what? We can really only go up from there. So today is going to be a great birthday for me. So if you want to give me a birthday present, you want to know what I want you to take a second to go rate and or review the podcast. Have you been listening for a minute and be like, oh my gosh, I love this podcast? Well, please go tell the world so that others can find it too. And if you have constructive feedback, I would invite you to let me know that by messaging me on the text function of the podcast. I would love to know what you want more of, what you want less of. I don't know. Just say hi. It's so fun when I hear from y'all. All right. Well, today's episode, I want to introduce you with a simple concept. It's actually a very simple concept, but it actually has profound impact. I feel like it has the potential to really help us move forward in ways that we want to and not kind of get stuck in the start and stop cycles that we very often get stuck in. And before we get into the content, the meat of the episode, I thought it'd be fun to share a little behind the scenes, particularly because I made something new for you. I made something that I think is really cool. As many content creators, such as myself, do, we create these hopefully enticing freebies or opt-ins. We call them all different things. And then, we try to make you want them so that you in exchange will give us your email address and then we can spam and annoy you forever. Just kidding. What we want to do is communicate with you. That's what we want to do. And I guess some people probably want to annoy you, but I especially want to, take this relationship to the next level. I get to speak to you in the podcast, and I would love to have you speak to me via email. And so that's really ultimately what I'm after here. And I had so much fun making these 2 things for you. I made 2 things because why do something simple when you can do it complicated? That's one of my life mottos. I first made what I'm calling the Special Needs Mom Survival Pack. And it is a printable resource for you. It includes 3 grounding exercises for chaotic days. It includes some scripts specifically for asking for help. Really, it's just kind of a sentence starter and a little bit of okay, I know I need help. This is where I start. And lastly, there is a 3-minute reset that I have for you. Now, as paper, it's a cool resource. But what I did is I also made a private podcast for you that includes me guiding you through the exercises. So literally all you have to do is listen to my voice, guide you along, follow the prompts, and you will have done the exercises and you will have supported yourself in a new way. So I do hope you'll take advantage of it. I do hope that you'll let me know what you think. And, I made this content. Alex, our editor, she made the podcast happen. Andy, she's also behind the scenes. She made things beautiful. And so all of it together, what's not to want? And I do promise, side note, I do promise not to spam your email with junk. We do typically email about episodes when they come out. And also, there's going to be a lot of new stuff coming on. And I want to be able to share those things with you. A lot of you know that I have a coaching community called Pathway to Peace Coaching Community. And it's been going along. And honestly, when we meet together, it's like the highlight of my week, as in I walk away from being with these women just in awe. I'm like, they're incredible. They're doing the work. They are not perfect. And yet they're coming together. We laugh, we cry, we connect. And most importantly, we're growing together. And that's the fun of it. So in the background, so this is still behind the scenes, right? I have been doing a lot of thinking, like really deep thinking. Like I've been taking creatine in the morning because I'm like, I need my brain to really be functioning really well today. And really looking at ways that I can expand what we're offering, and kind of like it's the next iteration that we're always growing. And that's what I'm going to be doing. So what that means for you is that there's going to be more opportunities for you at different kind of accessibility points as well. So if you get on my email list, you'll be the first to know. So that's another reason why I want you to go take advantage of the new resources that I made for you. And probably goes without saying, but you can access those by going to the show notes. There'll be a link. You can also just go to my website. It should be pretty straightforward. If you can't find it, you just let me know and I'll make sure you get it. Okay, now the topic today. Like I said earlier, I want to put this little idea in your head so that you can keep your eye out for it. Because if it goes undetected, it's likely to prevent you from things that you actually do want in your life. So the concept is that we expect good things to feel good. It sounds so simple when I say it. You're like, yeah, good things feel good, Kara. And when they don't feel good, we think something has gone wrong. And then often we abort mission or we stop. Now I'm going to unfold this. So if you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about, don't worry. I'm going to give examples. We're going to talk about it more. So just stick with me. But I want you to keep this thought in your head that we expect good things, or in other words, things that we want to feel good. Why is this important? Like I said earlier, it is important because we will often abort mission or stop. And I want you to be growing and stepping outside your comfort zone. And you see now how these two things can not coexist together. Because when we step outside of our comfort zone, well, you guessed it, it's going to be uncomfortable. But also, it is where the magic happens. Literally, anything that is new by nature is unfamiliar. Why? Because it's new. If we've never experienced it, or it's never existed, it's never been done before. So the land beyond, I want you to think of if we were in person, I would draw a little circle and I would say everything inside this circle is what we'll describe is your comfort zone. It's what you're familiar with. It's what you've done before. It's usually pretty certain because, again, you've done it before. And so that is what we'll call our comfort zone. Anything that exists outside of that is what is new, unfamiliar, is going to be, you guessed it, outside of your comfort zone. So it's obviously a very simple visual, but valuable, I think, to kind of really simplify it, to say, okay, inside my comfort zone, outside my comfort zone. We can look at this like when we're trying to break a generational pattern, that's going to be inside the comfort zone. It's going to be familiar. It's going to be what you know. It's not going to necessarily be what you want, but it's going to be familiar. So if you think about breaking outside of a generational pattern or something that you've always done or a habit, you are going to be required to step outside of what you've known before. Like, for instance, conceptually, being a mom, particularly a special needs mom who is happy, fulfilled, and grounded, that might feel like unfamiliar to you. You're like, wait, what? That exists? I think it does. Or I think it's possible for a woman to be on that journey in a fulfilled and meaningful way. So going back to this concept, I'm going to use a non-special needs example to kind of keep drilling it home, and then I'll use one that might be more familiar. So I want you to picture you've gotten a new job. Like you've been wanting this job, you've been working for it, and like dreaming about like quitting your old job, and bingo, yay, you put in your notice and you're on your way. And it's a good thing, right? And you expect it to feel good. Only it doesn't feel good. You feel bad. You find yourself nervous, doubting yourself, anxious, maybe even regretting your decision. And then this is confusing because you're like, wait, I wanted this. And if you just pause there, you take a step back, you'll maybe recognize why it feels so bad. Because you'll be able to see, again, if you zoom out a little bit, that you are going where no woman has gone before. You are going somewhere new. And new for us humans is not always easy, and it doesn't always feel good. And so that's why this good thing, so you still look back and be like, no, I still actually do want a new job. I still actually want to go for that promotion or for that change or a new company or whatever the thing is, but it actually feels really bad, or maybe even better said, uncomfortable. So all that's happened in this first example is that you forgot that new and unfamiliar can be really uncomfortable. Let's look at an example that is maybe more applicable to our special needs mom world. And like I do a lot, I'm going to use myself as an example. So we had on Sunday, so today I'm recording this is a Tuesday. And 2 days ago, we had our first experience having a respite provider to our home for respite, obviously. That probably went without saying. It was awesome. Like driving away from the house, being like, oh my gosh, Levi is like totally taken care of. All my other kids were like doing other things. He's thrilled for this. And I get to go out. And honestly, we like my husband and I like did returns. We did actually get a cocktail at the end of it. So it was really fun, but it was not necessarily a profound, like we're going out to do anything, but just the experience of having rest. I mean, do I need to tell you? No, I don't. You know, it's amazing. Yet, if I rewind the tape and I look at the journey that it took to get there, we'll see a path riddled with starting and stopping, which also means me hitting up against little points of discomfort, unfamiliarity all along the way. So let's break it down into kind of a couple different steps. First, I had the confusion and overwhelm of like, how do I even find this person? I had to go out there in the world and find somebody who I would trust with my child and would want to be trusted with my child. I laugh because I'm like, hey, I've got a 320-pound, occasionally violent son who's most of the time really sweet. Does anyone want to work a job? Does anyone want a job? I had to work on my advertising a little bit with that. But I mean, I'm laughing, but I think you all know, like, it's like trusting someone with a child and having somebody that wants a job. Finding a match can be difficult. So I had to work with myself in terms of some of the mental discomfort of all of that back and forth. And mostly this was just that it was unfamiliar, uncharted territory, that I hadn't figured out how to hire someone specifically for this job before. So I actually ended up putting an ad in care.com, and I got past that point. So I got to the point where we had a candidate, and she's amazing, all is well there. But then I got to another place of discomfort, something that did not feel good. Actually, it's funny because I was explaining this to a mom who has 5 kids actually, but none of them are disabled. And I was explaining how I'm really excited about the support, but I also am recognizing I also don't want it. I don't want to be in the situation where I'm hiring somebody for my 16-year-old son. It was actually this part where it was pushing on the grief and the sadness that this was the reality of my life. And so I was explaining to her how it was really hard. And she actually was she understood when I explained it, but prior to me saying, yeah, this is actually really hard, she kind of looked at me like, what are you talking about? And that's why I wanted to bring it to y'all here. Cause I'm like, I think you are my people who will understand why something good like help and support can also feel bad. So there's this duality here again. And so I noticed myself stopping a little bit because I was like, I just don't want this to be it. So just like I'm preaching all the time, I sat with it and brought hopefully some compassion, some curiosity, some gentleness to myself so that I could move through what I needed to move through to be able to continue on my journey. So that's an example of where something good, support, I didn't expect to feel so bad in these couple different ways, or I didn't expect to be so hard or uncomfortable. That might be a better way of saying it. And so I want to bring the concept here in for landing. And at the concept level, here's what I want you to take away from this episode. That the currency to the life that you want will likely be a series of uncertain, unfamiliar, and uncomfortable things. And when you find yourself having those experiences, right? Uncertain, unfamiliar, uncomfortable, rather than think that something has gone wrong, I want you to consider or think, I must be doing this right. All right. That's all, folks. I will see you on the next episode. And don't forget to go click and download the Special Needs Mom Survival Pack that I made just for you. We'll see you in the next episode.